The moves the Blue Jays have made this offseason have been nothing short of perfect, and I think each and every team in the MLB should be fearing this new-look Toronto Blue Jays team. Let me tell you why. For many years now, Toronto's defense has been a main talking point among most MLB critics, but I think they're being a bit harsh. The defense wasn't necessarily bad last year. The team ranked 10th in outs above average and 8th in defensive runs saved, which are both a little better than average, all the while playing with Teoscar, Lourdes, and Bo, who collectively had a negative 1.8 D-WAR in 2022. Bo knows it's a weak point and has been working day in and day out trying to improve that area of his game. And the departures of Teo and Lourdes have allowed the Blue Jays front office to have a little more variety when it comes to their lineup. Varsho and Kiermaier are both amazing fits, two left-handed bats to help split up the right-handed heavy lineup, and two of the best defenders in the game of baseball. Let's take a look at Teo and Lourdes' D-WAR and compare it to Varsho and Kiermaier's. As you can see, the improvement is massive. Increasing their outfield defense by 5.9 D-WAR per 162 is just insane, and I have to say I'm impressed. Whenever you're talking about an overall team or look at their stats, most people check their offense and their pitching, and then make an assumption about the entire team. They don't care to check the defensive rankings. The moves the Jays front office made this offseason upset a lot of fans, but I'm here to tell you that the Jays have improved immensely. Staying on the subject of Teo and Lourdes, let's compare their 2022 stats to Varsho and Kiermaier's. As you can see, there's a massive difference in most stats like RBIs, doubles, runs, and the overall slash line. But let's make this comparison a little bit more fair and average the numbers across 162 games. Looking at this graphic, you can see just how marginal the change is. And in some places, the Jays actually get better with the new guys. Varsho and Kiermaier beat out Teo and Lourdes in home runs by 6, runs by 2, and stolen bases by 11. Not to mention the O-WAR difference is only 0.2. Varsho and Kiermaier bring a dynamic to the Blue Jays that they haven't had in a very long time. They can steal bases and help split up the right-handed heavy lineup, which would have definitely come in handy in Game 1 of the Wild Card versus the Mariners when Luis Castillo absolutely plowed through all of the right-handed batters the Jays threw at him. To sum up, the Jays' defense got exponentially better, and the offense, well, it really didn't lose as much as people think, and by showing these stats today, I hope I've been able to get that message across. Moving on to why you should be able to trust a Blue Jays pitching staff again. Well, for many years, pitching is something that the Blue Jays have desperately needed. And after signing Bassett to a 3-year deal, it seems as though the Blue Jays have finally shored up their rotation. Looking through the 1 through 5, Kikuchi becomes a free agent in 2025, Bassett in 2026, Gausman in 2027, Manoah in 2028, and Barrios in 2029. Barring trades or injuries, the Jays have locked up their guys for a very long time. Not to mention that players like Mitch White could also be in the mix, or maybe a resurgence from Nate Pearson, although pretty unlikely, or perhaps the highly anticipated Ricky Tiedemann can take the spot by the end of the year. It's not breaking news that Barrios and Kikuchi were extremely poor last season, but hey, it can only go up from here, right? In all seriousness, we should expect some sort of rebound for both players, which will put this rotation in a very good spot to compete with the league's best. And as everyone knows, pitching wins championships. Just look at the past World Series winners and their team ERA ranks. The Astros had the second best pitching last year with a team ERA of 2.9. In 2021, the Braves had the 8th best pitching with a 3.88 team ERA. And the Dodgers in 2020 had the best ERA, pitching to a 3.02. And last season, the Jays team ERA was at a mediocre 15th place. Now moving on to the bullpen, which projects to be a strong point on the team for the first time in many years. Let's compare the bullpen from the 2022 opening day roster to what it will project to be in 2023. As you can see, there have been quite a few changes. Out goes Merriweather, Phelps, Saucedo, Stripling, and Thornton, and in comes Eric Swanson, Anthony Bass, and Mitch White. Of course, there could be shuffling going on in spring training, but these guys project to be mainstays in the Blue Jays bullpen this year. Not to mention Chad Green will figure in once he's healthy, and players like Zach Pop, Yosver Zulueta, and Nate Pearson could barge into the discussion with a strong spring. Also, the Jays may not be done with their bullpen additions this offseason. To make room for Chad Green, the Jays DFA'd Matt Gage, which is a shock to most people because he was only one of 3 lefties the Jays could have in their bullpen. This brings up the question of whether the Jays will add another left-handed reliever before the season starts. Perhaps Zach Britton, Matt Moore, or Will Smith could be on the Jays' horizon. When Ryu and Green ultimately go on the 60-day IL, the Jays would be able to add another one of these relievers without having to DFA anyone because of the open 40-man roster spots. That's all for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Do you agree that the MLB should fear this new look Blue Jays team? Also, only a small percentage of people watching are actually subscribed. And let's face it, if you love the Blue Jays, you're going to get a lot of Jays content on your browse page, which means you'll most likely see me again. Why wait when you can subscribe now and be first to all of my future content? I plan on posting 4 to 5 times a week, and with baseball season coming up, you'll definitely want to hear the latest regarding our favorite team. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.